So last week, I was getting ready to deliver this keynote. I was working on my slides, and my sister calls me and says, hey, can you come over for lunch at our new place? And I said, no, I can't come through because I need to work on my keynote. I need to get ready. It's momentum. She's like, it's momentum? I was like, it's momentum. And so she says, yeah, but still come for lunch. And I was like, but I need to work. And she says, look, we've moved into a new place. You have to come and see our new place. The last 8 to 6 months, we've been looking for a new place because the upstairs unit could no longer contain the energetic 4-year-old, my niece, Tanya. She is such a menace. So eventually, they find a really nice garden unit, and she says to me, you have to come visit. And I said to her, look, if I get to a point where now I'm struggling with my keynote, will you help me? She's like, yeah, we'll give you inspiration, come through. So I visit, I go for lunch, we have a wonderful lunch. Can I just say, my sister makes an incredible dombolo and stew. I digress. Anyway, so as I'm working on my slides and we're done having this beautiful lunch, I'm working on my slides and I get to this point and I'm trying to convey this point. So, I start doing this, and I don't know why we do this, as if we can grab the words out of thin air and just inject them onto the slides. And she looks at me and says, it's that time, you need inspiration. I was like, yeah, sure. What do you have for me? And she calls my 4-year-old niece. At this point, I'm just looking at her in disbelief and trying to understand what's happening here. She's like, give it a chance. You never know, Kids have that moment where they have a stroke of geniusness. Just ask her. So my little niece runs in, a doll in the other hand, and stands there and says, what's up? So I crouch onto this 4-year-old, and I come onto her level, and I say, Tanya, tell me, what do you think about personal purpose linked to organizational purpose? I'm going to think about it, Auntie Enkromelle. Just give me a few minutes. I say, okay. After a few minutes, I inquire back about my question. What did you think? Organizational purpose, linking to personal purpose. What's your idea about that? And she turns around to me and she looks very intently, and I could see she'd already forgotten that I'd sent her a request. And she says, what the thing is, Auntie Enkromelle, is that I don't think I have much of personal purpose. And so I thought in that moment, oh my goodness, I really do hope that when I get to speak to Momentum, that everyone does have personal purpose. Otherwise, it's not going to be a very good start of this keynote, do you think? And so whilst working through these slides, every single time I'd look at my keynote title and I'd start to rehearse, I'd continue saying, you have to tap into your organizational purpose. So because of that, I have decided to retitle my presentation and call it Building Dreams Together. Because in aligning our personal purpose to our organization's purpose, not only are the client's dreams built, but ours too. And you see how. I love how Dumo spoke through the purpose. He touched about the tangible things. I'm just here to talk about the soft things and tangible things. So I really have the easier role for this day. I know that the conversation has already started. The purpose for the group has already been presented to you all. So how do we build dreams together? The purpose of Momentum, as I understand it, is to build and protect clients' financial dreams. Meaning for any client who comes to Momentum seeking help, needing to claim disability cover, looking at their options in terms of pension funds, insurance, you name it, every single person in this room says, I will step to the plate and I will help you, right? Personal purpose and organization's purpose. I want to avoid any ambiguity and make sure that we're chatting about the same thing. Personal purpose is your reason for being. What drives you? And I need you to think about that for a little bit. What gives meaning to your life? What is it that when it is happening on a daily occurrence, you say, wow, what an incredible life. I saw a funny TikTok video the other day where this gardener was given a basket of groceries by his boss in December over the Christmas holidays. And when he sees this basket of groceries and notices, oh, there's nice rice, cooking oil, he looks happy, but he's not very chuffed. He's like, okay, boss, thank you, I'll give it to the madam. The boss knew what was happening here, so he takes out a second box. The second box had his favorite beer bottles. I have never seen a man celebrate. He was so happy. And he hugs his boss. He probably forgot where he was. He grabs his boss very close to him and says, you know what, boss man? I wish if this can happen each and every month or a monthly, actually. I would be very happy. So what is it that if it was to happen each and every week or a monthly, Samantha, you would be very happy? That is your personal purpose. What drives meaning into your life? For some, it's the joy in their children's faces. For some, it's by helping other people. For others, it's through travel. What is your personal purpose? What gives meaning to your life? And then there's organizational purpose, which is the same thing, but it's shared by a group of people. It drives us and it gives meaning to our lives as a whole. Where personal purpose is individual, organizational purpose is led by a collective. What are we trying to achieve here? We're trying to build and protect clients' financial dreams. When your purpose is personal, it is powerful. But when your purpose is aligned to organizational purpose, it becomes something you cannot even imagine. When I think about building dreams together, there's no better story that illustrates this so well, like the story of the three bricklayers. And this story has been told so many different times by different narrators, but I will give you my take on this very story today. A very famous architect, Christopher Wren, was invited to rebuild the St. Paul's Cathedral. He sees these three bricklayers, they're working hard and they're working fast. He admires from a distance for a little bit until he decides to approach them. And he asks a very simple question. What are you doing? The first bricklayer gets up and says, well, I'm just laying bricks as I was told, man. And the second bricklayer stands up and says, I'm laying bricks to feed my family. But it was the third bricklayer's response that left him in awe to the same question. What are you doing? The third bricklayer says, I am building a cathedral, a place where many generations will come, seek refuge, find home. Take this place as a spiritual sanctuary to come and meditate and connect to God. And what I found fascinating when the story is told is there's always a debate of the question, who was right? I think they were all right. The first thing is that they all brought a contribution. See, the difference between these three men is that the first two are only tapped into personal purpose. The alignment of personal purpose into organizational purpose has to start with personal purpose. But what sets apart the third person is that he's doing it for a reason far beyond himself. He's connected to a greater purpose, and that gives him endurance in the work that he's doing. Cathedrals are built for generations to come and find home as a spiritual sanctuary. That is what the organization intended when they commissioned for a cathedral to be built. And the third bricklayer understood that, and he also wanted the same. By finding alignment in his purpose and the organization's purpose, he tapped into a high calling. I am laying bricks is great. What is your personal purpose? I'm an accountant. When you're just laying bricks, there's no need for you to work with other people. That job is really straightforward. When you're laying bricks to feed your family, first of all, sir, it's your family. I don't need to help you with that, right? But when you're laying bricks to build a cathedral, you invite collaboration. You start to realize that the mission that we're on, the purpose of this group that we're trying to build is such a big job that we need to collaborate. If you're just coming to clock in to lay bricks to feed your family, oh, good and dandy. But when you really start to connect into building and protecting clients' financial dreams, it's not a task that one person can do. By connecting your personal purpose and aligning yourself and seeing yourself reflected back into the organization's purpose, you start to collaborate. And that creates a beautiful environment within Momentum. Collaboration stops just being a buzzword. We stop competing with each other and we start celebrating each other. We start viewing each other as colleagues and we start joining arms. And the nice thing I love about collaboration, HR, please don't sue me, I'm getting to a point. It triggers the love hormone, oxytocin. Oxytocin is a brain neurotransmitter. It's very simple. It says when I'm feeling loved, when I'm in a safe place, there's more of me in a place. And what happens when we collaborate? We start to create an environment of trust. And what trust does, it creates social bonds, and hence the love hormone. So no, you're not falling in love with your colleague, ma'am. They're just very trustworthy and very dependable. When we start to collaborate, we start to feel more satisfied with the work we're doing because we are working in unison. But when we as a group, as a team, some are moving that direction, some are moving that direction, this is not a satisfying environment for me. I don't want to be here. But when we're all moving in unison, I am satisfied. I am happy. I feel safe and I trust my team. And you know what? How can I help more to ensure that we get those billions? It's just 1 billion? 2, 10. Oh, 10. 10! You guys are incredible. Another thing about the story of the bricklayers that I love so much is that it illustrates the power of perspective. That's really all there is to life. It's how you look at things. You have to start looking at things much more than just face value. You have to start tapping into perspective of things. To the first bricklayer, he was just laying bricks as he was told. To the second one, he was just laying bricks for a paycheck. Not bad. I love good money. But even good money cannot keep good people. It is a connection to a shared understanding. To the understanding of we are trying to build and protect clients' dreams. I want that too. Just as much momentum does too. I want to be able to transform people's lives. How can I help? So what is the bigger picture? When you look at what you do, you have to constantly be thinking, what is the bigger picture? How can I tap into more than just looking at myself as a claims manager, as an accountant? Because once we start to do that, once we start operating out of the bounds of personal purpose and operating within organizational purpose, we trigger the highest form of care or love. Who knows what the highest form of care or love is? Anyone? Guesses? Consideration. If you want to know your team has your back, anyone that you have a bond with in life, at work, at home, it's consideration. It's how we think of other people. When we make certain decisions, we pay attention to the detail. We hold in high regard how it could affect other people. We think how they're going to respond. To show how much we care is to show how we consider you. And when you're operating within organizational purpose, and I know Momentum's organizational purpose is to build and protect clients' financial dreams. When you operate within that same purpose that Juma presented, it demands that you consider how our clients feel. It demands that you think of them more than a spreadsheet. It demands that you consider them as a human being on the other side of the telephone. And the beautiful thing about it is consideration will inspire empathy. And empathy will inspire the tone when we speak to our clients. You start speaking differently. I understand how frustrating this must be for you. I'm here to help. Consideration inspires compassion, a deep sense of I need to alleviate our client's suffering. I'm sorry to hear about your situation, ma'am. Let me see how we can resolve that. Consideration will inspire respect, which is valuing our client's feedback and perspective. Thank you for sharing that. One of my good friends, Zani, doesn't matter what you tell her. Bad, good, you really could come with the dagger. Gah! The first thing she will always say out of her mouth, thanks for sharing that. I wish I could be Zani too sometimes. We give respect towards our clients. Consideration demands that we operate in honesty. I don't have that information right now, but I promise you, I'll get back to you as soon as I get it. Because most of the times when we're dealing with clients, they're in a devastating situation. You cannot be escalating or I'm not sure, giving incorrect information. You have to be honest. Consideration also demands that there's patience within the environment. When you're operating within the organization's purpose, you are patient, especially in challenging times that you all deal with. They're antsy, they're anxious. You're speaking to a mother who has so much anxiety about what tomorrow will be like. Take your time. It's okay. We will be here when you're ready. These are the options we've presented to you. When you're ready, just give me a call. And what I love about consideration is that it inspires positivity, which is a can-do attitude. It doesn't matter what the claim is. It doesn't matter what the request is from the client. I am confident we can find a solution for you because we build dreams and we protect our clients' financial dreams. That's what we do. So let us look at perspective in the eyes of a claims manager. I know in the room we have accountants, actuaries, marketers, caterers, everyone who plays a different role in the room. But let's just take one example. In the lens of a claims manager, I just imagine, I wouldn't know, but I imagine your job means, I don't know, filing claims? Filling in forms, responding to emails. When you really look at it, it's so hard to think of your job beyond that because that's all you deal with. It's a computer screen. But when you use perspective and you think, I'm a claims manager, I provide financial security for our clients, I uphold trust for momentum. Because when I fulfill my role diligently and faithfully, we create a stronger, loyal base for momentum. You are operating within the organization's purpose. Something that personal purpose can get you started, but it can't get you to the finish line. You have to be operating in the organizational purpose sphere. But to do this, you actually have to define your purpose. You see, with these keynotes, these presentations, we come, we talk, we show you the slides, you actually don't do it. You have to do it. You have to actually do the work and really give this time and really think about it. Because when you do, you get back control of your life. You eliminate that existential crisis of, what am I actually doing here? I know what I'm doing here. I'm an actuary who works for a company that is so passionate in building and protecting clients' financial dreams, and I want the same thing. I want to make the same impact. I want to be associated with the organization's purpose. And the nice thing about writing things down and really defining things down is it triggers another happy hormone that I really like, which is dopamine. Dopamine is a really fun hormone, right? Another neurotransmitter. Dopamine basically operates this way. Whatever you do that is fun creates more dopamine. If you keep eating cookies on your diet, you have fun. That's dopamine. When you're doing your job diligently and you're coming into these presentations with Duma saying, we did an incredible job, your brain says, that was fun. This feels good. Let's do more. When you define what your purpose is, when you fulfill what your tasks are, and you do them and you serve them, your brain says, that felt great. We provided these insurance plans and they now have hope for their future. Can we do more of that? It increases your motivation and it keeps you connected to the organization's purpose. But when you're not actually doing the work, when you're not fulfilling the task faithfully, there is nothing fun about what you're doing and your brain does not register it. But how good does it feel that we're given a target and we beat it? You ask the people going to walk on stage later when I'm going with them to Brazil, They're probably thinking to themselves when they're on that flight, this tastes good. We need to do more of this. How amazing did it feel watching this presentation? I'm not even a part of Momentum, but I was like, we did that. That's incredible. We should do more. So no 1 billion, sir. 2. Okay, I'm getting death threats. When we're connected to the organization's purpose, it feels good. We operate as a unison, we create trust bonds, we feel more connected and motivated, and our brain says, let's do more of this tomorrow. What I find so hard and challenging about the story of the 3 bricklayers is that possibly the first bricklayer never actually got to attend the ceremony when the cathedral was opened. He never got to sit on one of those beautiful wooden benches and find refuge and enjoy the cathedral. And I find it challenging too, because as I was looking at the profiles of the work we do here, of people in this room, I was like, how can you stay connected to the organization's purpose because your job doesn't actually allow you a front row seat to see the impact? So how do you actually believe and see that, oh my goodness, we are truly transforming, protecting and building our clients' financial dreams? It's very simple. He believed. He was so faithful in his work. He had trust that when he passed on the baton to the interior designer, to the caterer, to the accountant, that the cathedral would be finished. You have to believe in the work that you do. When we talk about being connected to organizational purpose, I'm not just asking you to understand it. I'm not asking you to be able to recite it. I'm asking you to believe it, to truly believe in it. Because when you believe, you are fueled by that belief. When all you see on a daily is a computer, when all you see on a daily is a spreadsheet, it's very difficult to remember the impact that you make. But when you have belief in what we're trying to create and achieve as a group, we go further. We stay stay tapped in and we have endurance for what we're trying to do. Because when you really think about it, you can look at the KPIs and measure our impact, but we also can't measure the emotional impact we're creating as a group. And you need to start believing in that, because that number there represents people, and that is the impact that you're making. And in realizing that and understanding that, if there's one thing I would love for you to remember from my keynote, is to remember that you should never minimize your contribution. Whatever role you play in this group, you are the person who's in charge of making sure that our beautiful corridors are clean and sparkling and we can work in a beautiful, fresh environment. You are the accountant who makes sure our numbers are always great. Angisho, Minister of Finance, Gabo. Whatever task you do not minimize the role that you play, the contribution that you bring to the table. When people ask you for your opinion, please stop saying, let me just give you my 2 cents. No, give 2 million, something. Abba? I never say I'm going to give you my 2 cents. I got 2 billion, honey. How much you need? You have to believe in your contribution. Because whatever part you are in this relay race, and I keep saying relay because these days I'm watching the Olympics. I love it. You are so important and you play a very crucial part. Let's go. And what's also important about not minimizing your contribution is please do not minimize your colleagues' contribution. Oh, that one hit home. I'm a liver there. And so when you tapped into the organization's purpose, you promote long-term well-being. You have a strong sense of why. You have less stress because you know why you're here. If you don't do that, you have long-term breakdown, the opposite. You're frustrated, you're unsure why you're here, and at the end of the day, you're walking through our corridors like this guy with a towel on your face. And when you're not connected and operating within the organizational purpose, you become the weapon fashioned against us as a group. You are not in alignment with what the team is achieving. You become the obstacle. Where people are trying to move forward, you're trying to move back. I mean, I was told that I had a future in preaching, but I think... Let's move on. I'm going to tell you about how I found the link. A few months ago, a friend of mine called me and said, there is an opportunity in our team, and I think you'd be perfect for it. I mean, it would be nice if she had said, I have 8 million rands that I have no use for, and I think you'd have perfect use for it. But an opportunity, same thing, right? I say, okay, what is it? She said, we're looking for the head of partnerships for Africa Early Stage Investor Summit. I was like, okay, I'll look into it, and I'll let you know what I think. Send me the links. Silence. I'm like, hello? It's like, the thing is, I already put you up for the job. And I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen, it was such a humbling realization for me that when you live and operate within your personal purpose so loudly, groups, people who operate within the same purpose identify and they want to collaborate. And that is the reason why you're in this room. Momentum has seen your fire. They've seen your passion. They know you're the right people. And when you continue to do that, your leadership continues to see that. And they continue finding you opportunities to be better tapped in. And the beautiful thing is when you're connected into the organization's purpose, there's a ripple effect. I was just laughing when Duma was speaking that this guy sounds like it ripped off my keynote because everything he's talking about is what I wanted to talk about. But that's because it's so true. In the very key concepts of operating within organizational purpose, you start a ripple effect. Because we only need one really single purpose-driven employee who can alight the hearts of other people. Now imagine the people in this room, in Sandton, and in Centurion, and Cape Town, and Zama. Hey, girl. We create an environment of inspiration where other people are like, I want to do it too. and I want to do it well. We create better team dynamics. We're individuals who have a shared purpose and we want to thrive through collaboration, therefore creating a force for innovation and success. Externally, look at what we can achieve as momentum. We create community impact and outreach. We create a community that believes in us, a community that really relies on us and knows that the next call they make to us, that we will be there. We create an environment where there's effective outreach. The connections we create with our clients, they're no longer transactional. They're now relationships. They're genuine bonds where they call and they know it doesn't matter. I'll speak to David, I'll speak to Faith. It'll be the same result. So how do we align purpose? It's a lot of information to digest, but when you really bring it down to the crux of things, you have to participate. Company initiatives. Whatever is happening within the team, within the group, participate. Be involved. You have to, on a regular, self-reflect. Am I still in the same place? Am I still connected? Do I still understand the organization's purpose? Am I tapped in? How connected am I? And the last, most important thing is communicate with your leadership. It is so important that we communicate because when we stop communicating, it's a start of breakdown. The group's purpose has been communicated. We now await for feedback from you, building and protecting clients' financial dreams. So a few months ago, you know when a story starts like that. So a few months ago, I went on a date. And and you know when you reach a certain age, there are certain questions you don't have time for on a date. When you arrive, you have an agenda, you have very specific questions, very important questions. You have to ask important questions. We don't have time. So I get there, I'm focused, my notebook. So I arrive at the date, looks good, I look better. It was nice. The atmosphere, the ambience, clinking of glasses. Hey, good night, guys, it was nice. And so I get into the serious questions. You know, ma'am, the serious questions when you're dating. What time do you go to bed? Do you drink your magnesium and ashwagandha? Because you need that. And when you buy your vitamin D, do you buy the one with K2? Because you know, it helps absorb better into the bones. Sorry, is it just me? Right. You need to ask the important questions. Well, deal with your favorite color. What time do you go to bed? And as the conversation progressed, it also then got to a point where I was asked, so what do you do? To which I responded very proudly, I'm a corporate MC. Sorry? So like you just stand on stage and then people come up and down and then you just have to know the agenda. That's what you do, right? What I do, I walk on stages where Africa's on the agenda. I influence conversations that transform corporate South Africa. I'm the life, the celebration of every event. I'm the reason why event organizers are at ease because I do my job well. We take experiences from just general events to incredible laughter, shakes rooms because I make jokes on stage. That's what I do. I mean, you know, you never called me back. But perspective, you have to start looking at what you do as just more. You are not just a claims manager. You are not just an accountant. You are building and protecting clients' financial dreams. And what an honor it must be to be a part of this room. It has been such an honor for me to be a part of this room. Thank you.